Discover the incredible transformation, how 50,000 knights faced an unexpected heartwarming defeat. In the heart of Oakwood, a small town in the American Midwest, whispers of an extraordinary legend floated through the air. 50,000 knights, each an embodiment of resilience, once stood tall against despair, urging a community to dream big. Amid empty storefronts and fallen dreams, 28-year-old Jake Thompson, a mechanic with a heart as big as his struggles, stood at a crossroads. He once dazzled football fields as a college star, but now life felt like a game he was losing, with bills piling high and the family auto shop teetering on the brink of closure. Sitting at his father's old workbench, grease smeared across his face, Jake felt the familiar ache of hopelessness. His family's shop, once the pride of Oakwood, faced layoffs if things didn't turn around. The laughter that used to echo through supper had turned into a battlefield of stressed voices. "We need to stick to what's worked," his father would insist, still stuck in the past. But Jake and his sister, Emily, were tired of losing. They wanted to breathe new life into their town. A spark ignited when they stumbled upon the National Small Town Resilience Contest. The prize? A cash windfall that could save everything. "We can do this!" Jake exclaimed, a flicker of hope igniting in his chest. His eyes gleamed as he rallied an unlikely team: farmers, teachers, shop owners, and even retirees, each one fueled by a dream to rise above their circumstances. Together, they were a band of modern-day knights, ready to turn the tide. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As the town poured its heart into this competition, the tension rose. Family dinners devolved into heated debates, with Jake's father clinging to tradition, while Emily championed innovative ideas. It broke Jake's heart to see his father's pride clash with his sister's passion. But amidst the struggle, a buzzing excitement filled the air, and the entire town seemed to believe they could achieve the impossible. Yet just days before the contest, they uncovered a chilling truth: the corporate sponsors behind the contest had a history of exploiting struggling towns like theirs. Suddenly, the dream felt tainted. "Is this really worth it?" whispered old Mrs. Hargrove, her eyes filled with doubt. Jake stood at the center of it all, feeling the weight of his family legacy pressing down. Should he chase personal glory or stand by his community's principles? The stakes were rising, and with each passing moment, anxiety threatened to choke the light from their dreams. As the contest day dawned, the townsfolk gathered, hope and fear swirling in the air. Jake looked into their faces, determined, anxious, filled with a profound longing for change. Could they find strength in unity, or would this dream slip through their fingers like grains of sand? The crossroads had arrived, and Jake had to decide, what did victory truly mean? In that moment of heart-stopping uncertainty, the stage was set for either salvation or painful reckoning, leaving a question lingering: would they discover that true resilience doesn't just mean survival, but embracing the bonds that unite them all? As the sun broke over Oakwood, casting a golden hue on the town square, Jake felt the weight of every hope and fear hanging heavy in the air. The contest wasn't just a competition anymore, it was a symbol of everything they had fought for. He could barely hear the chatter from the crowd gathered, filled with families and friends who all shared the same longing for a brighter future. His heart raced as he surveyed the makeshift stage, adorned with banners created by local schools and businesses. He remembered Emily's idea to bring everyone together through their collective talents. It had ignited a fire in them all. They had planned a parade of sorts, showcasing the diverse skills of their tight-knit community, from farm-fresh produce to handcrafted goods. But beneath the excitement, shadows of doubt crept in. As the contest kicked off, local bands played upbeat tunes, filling the air with lively rhythms that made people smile. Jake rushed to grab a microphone, feeling the pulse of encouragement from the crowd. "Welcome, everyone. Today is not just about prizes, it's about us. Our strength, our spirit, our unity. The crowd erupted in cheers, their faces beaming with hope. But amid the cheering, Jake spotted the corporate sponsors arriving, crisp suits and polished smiles piercing the town's vibrant colors like knives. Their presence felt overwhelming, the very embodiment of what they had come to fear. The whispers of exploitation echoed in the back of his mind, and he felt a pang of guilt. Was he dragging everyone into a web of manipulation? Just as he began to doubt himself, Emily stepped up beside him, her eyes shimmering with determination. Listen. This is more than a contest. It's our moment to show our true selves, to create without strings attached. Let us not lose sight of what brought us here. Her voice rang out, clear and strong. Jake felt the tension in his chest ease as the crowd rallied around her words, their enthusiasm bubbling to the surface once again. But shadows continued to loom. Halfway through the festivities, one of the sponsors took the stage to deliver a speech. We're proud to support Oakwood. This is your chance to secure your future, he declared, but the air felt thick with skepticism as the townsfolk exchanged uneasy glances. Jake knew the stakes were high now. Would this be a moment of celebration or a trap holding them down? The fear of what might come next coursed through him, making him question every decision made since they started this journey. Suddenly, an idea sparked in his mind. Jake turned to the crowd. Let us show them what we're really about. No strings attached, just our passion. He could feel the energy shift, their collective hope strengthening once more. Animated discussions erupted, and laughter mingled with nervous excitement. As they shared their stories, revealing dreams and aspirations, Jake sensed a vital change unfolding. It wasn't just about winning anymore. It was about standing together and redefining their worth as a community. A bittersweet smile crossed his face as he realized how far they had all come, regardless of the outcome. But before they could truly celebrate, a loud crash echoed through the square, drawing their attention. Eyes widened as they turned to see a rival Town S group, determined to sabotage Oakwood S moment. Adrenaline surged in Jake S veins. This was it, the final test of their strength and resilience. Could they band together to fight off this threat and prove that true unity was invincible? The realization hit Jake like a freight train sometimes. Victory wasn't about trophies, but about standing firm against adversity. As chaos erupted, he summoned deep within himself a resolve he never knew he had. The stakes had been raised, and the true battle for Oakwood S future was about to begin. The moment the crash reverberated through the square, time seemed to freeze. Jake's heart raced as he turned to see the rival Town S group, hostile faces contorted in anger, eyes gleaming with malice. They were advancing, each step a threat to Oakwood's hard-won moment of unity. Jake's breath hitched. This wasn't just about competition anymore, it felt personal. You ready for this? Emily's voice broke through the fear, her hand gripping his tightly. He nodded, though uncertainty gnawed at him. When he glanced back at the crowd, he saw faces he recognized: the tired farmer, the bright-eyed children, hopeful artisans. They were all looking to him, waiting for direction. They think we're weak, Jake shouted, drawing on every ounce of resolve he had. But we know our worth. We've built something here, something real. The crowd murmured in response, a wave of energy rippling through them. Hope began to flutter in their hearts again. The rival townsfolk only grew closer, hooting and hollering, confident in their numbers. Jake stepped forward, raising his voice to drown them out. This is our moment. They come to tear us down, but they don't know who we are. We are Oakwood. A cheer erupted, a chorus of voices that echoed in the square, drowning the tension in the air. Around him, his fellow townsfolk rallied, clutching their own banners and posters, every handmade item a unique testament to their identity. Jake's heart swelled. They weren't just fighting for a contest. They were fighting for their homes, their dreams, their futures. But maybe this wasn't just about fighting back. If they could show that their strength came from unity, perhaps the rivals would see the light. "Everybody, show them our talents," Jake called out. "Let our strength speak through what we've created." Without another word, the townsfolk sprang into action. Chants of encouragement erupted. He watched as a group of kids with painted faces began to dance gracefully, while the local band transitioned into an uplifting tune. Laughter mixed with music, forming a resilient shield against opposition. And then, something magical happened. The rival towns group hesitated. They exchanged unsure glances as the spectacle unfolded. This was something they hadn't anticipated. Jake could see their smug expressions falter. "Keep going," Emily shouted, her energy infectious. Everyone joined in, playing instruments, singing, showcasing their unique skills. The palpable despair of fear transformed into a buoyant celebration of resilience. Gradually, the rival group began to shift, their sneers morphing into bewilderment. They weren't prepared for this. "Look at them, they're not backing down," one of the rivals muttered, seemingly entranced by the spirit of Oakwood. Jake's heart surged with hope, his resolve crystallizing. They weren't just defending themselves, they were sculpting a moment of transformation right before their eyes. But just as it seemed they had gained the upper hand, a loud voice cut through the music. "Stop this nonsense. You think you can win with your little rally?" The aggressor stepped forward, a community leader from the rival town. His confidence rang hollow, but his threat was clear. Jake stepped forward once again, feeling every ounce of support wash over him. "This is not nonsense, a community isn't built on hostility. It's built on love, passion, and creativity," he shouted back, channeling the strength of everyone around him. The atmosphere thickened with tension as both sides locked eyes. But behind their heated expressions, something stirred, an invitation to reconsider. Could they turn a moment of conflict into one of understanding? As the music played on and the dance continued, Jake couldn't shake the feeling there was a deeper revelation here. The real transformation was unfolding, but at what cost? Would this be seen as a bridge to unity or an irreparable divide? With the stakes rising higher than ever, Jake braced himself. The battle was far from over, and the next move could change everything for Oakwood. The tension hung like popcorn in the air, electric and thick. Jake stood, heart pounding, the heat of the moment roaring in his ears. The town rallied behind him, their eyes alive with a mix of fear and defiance. Just a few moments ago, he had felt the weight of despair pressing them down, but now, as he spotted Emily smiling with fierce determination, hope blossomed again. "Let us show them who we are," Jake shouted, urging everyone forward once more. The band began to play, a lilting melody that infused their spirits with renewed purpose. The dancers swirled, and colors leapt in the sunlight: red, blue, bright yellow. Each movement was a shot of courage piercing through the encroaching darkness. The rival townsfolk still stood before them, but they looked different now, hesitant. The vibrant celebration made their gruffness seem dull, their hostility disarmed by joy. Jake glanced at the ringleader of the opposing group, and what he saw took him by surprise. Uncertainty was etched across the man's face, a flicker of respect, even. "Keep it up," Emily cried, her voice slicing through the crowd like a beacon. "Show them what makes a community strong." Those words wrapped around Jake's heart, boosting his resolve. He felt the blood rush in his veins, an anthem of belonging. Then, something unexpected happened. The leader from the rival town took a step forward, looking between his own group and the celebrations of Oakwood. An unusual silence enveloped the square, displacing the raucous names shouted earlier. The crowd felt the shift. Eyes widened in disbelief as Jake pressed forward. "You can hate us, or you can join us," Jake called out, the challenge resonating more deeply than he realized. "This isn't a competition anymore. It's a chance to understand one another." There was a moment of silence, a snapshot where hope and apprehension tangled together in the hearts of both sides. Jake held his breath, waiting. Could they really come together? The rival leader shifted, glancing over his shoulders at his townsfolk, his hardened features softening momentarily. "It's crazy," he muttered, almost to himself, but Jake caught it. Instead of retreating to hostility, perhaps there was a crack forming in their armor. "Bring it in," said the leader in surprising acceptance. "What do you say, everyone? Let us show them we can celebrate too." The words hung heavily in the air. He raised his hands and, slowly but surely, a few of the rival townsfolk crossed the line into the square, drawn by curiosity. Jake nearly dropped to his knees in relief. They were moving. Oakwood's people cheered, a monumental roar of acceptance echoing off the cobblestones. A few brave souls from both sides stepped forward, shaking hands, sharing laughter. Emily ran to join the new group, her smile radiating warmth. Together they danced, first cautiously, then with unfiltered exuberance, and Jake felt a swell of pride. This wasn't just about their differences anymore. It was an opportunity to share joy, creativity, and stories, a transformation of hostility into connection. But as the borders began to dissolve, the air still thick with possibilities, Jake noticed a group of onlookers hovering at the edge, their expressions colder, eyes burning with resentment. They weren't ready to let go of the past. Jake's pulse quickened again. Just when he believed hope could flourish, he felt that familiar tightening in his chest. Would there always be those unwilling to join in? With the celebration growing, Jake knew he had to act. Standing on a nearby crate, he cleared his throat. The energy in the square shifted, and the crowd turned their attention to him. "Let us take this moment and turn it into a movement," he declared, his heart in his throat. "Together, we can invite everyone here in Oakwood and beyond to be a part of something greater. To not just show our talents, but to bridge the gaps that keep us apart." The moment stretched taut, a deep inhale before an exhale. Could they reach those still standing on the sidelines? Jake's heart raced, afraid to hope again. As cheers erupted around him, he stood, hands clenched, feeling the weight of the future pressing down. Would they be embraced, or would unity continue to elude them? As he swallowed hard, filled with both trepidation and excitement, he knew this was just the beginning of a larger battle. One that would dig much deeper than what lay on the surface. And deep inside, Jake wondered, would they have the courage to change, or would the old wounds remain unhealed? Jake's heart pounded in rhythm with the rising cheers around him. It was a collective heartbeat, pulsing with a mix of laughter, uncertainty, and excitement. He couldn't let the doubt creep in. Not now. The newly unified crowd buzzed with energy, but Jake could still feel the weight of those who stood apart. The ones who had yet to join the celebration. He scanned the edges of the square, spotting the sullen group who remained at a distance. Their expressions were twisted in anger, like storm clouds blocking the sun. Jake felt a pang in his chest. He couldn't let fear define them. He needed to reach out to show them what they were missing. "Listen," Jake called, his voice rising above the jubilant noise. "Let us not leave anyone behind. We shall not just celebrate today, let us invite those who are still hesitant." A ripple of murmurs spread through the crowd. Some looked nervous, others inspired. Was it possible to bridge this gap when so many had been conditioned to keep their distance? Emily caught his eye, her gaze steady and filled with encouragement. That look bolstered him, a lifeline in a sea of uncertainty. He stepped down from the crate, losing himself in the throng, moving toward the edge of the square where the rival townsfolk still loomed, arms folded tight across their chests. "Hey!" Jake called out, voice steady but softer now, "I get it. Change is scary. No one wants to feel vulnerable. But we're all here to dance, to create. You don't have to fight anymore. You can just enjoy life with us." One of the men from the rival group, slightly older but with a hard glare, clenched his fists. "Why should we? You think we can just forget everything? You think we're just going to walk into your party?" His tone dripped with skepticism. Jake took a breath, grounding himself in that moment of tension. "I know it sounds easy to say. But every step toward one another breaks down walls that have built up for too long. You're welcome here, right next to us or apart in your own place, but still connected. We're just asking for a chance. The voices from Oakwood surged behind him, amplifying his words with supportive shouts, "Come join us. You're family too." Jake watched the rival leader's face shift suddenly. The lines of hostility began to soften, replaced by intrigue. Uncertainty flickered in those frigid eyes as others from his group exchanged glances, whispering to one another. Then there was a gesture, barely perceptible, a hand lowered slightly, a foot shifting forward. A ripple of hope surged through Jake. Could they really be changing their minds? Silence settled over the square. What if this was the moment? The moment to build something better out of the ashes of the old. But before Jake could fully digest the possibility, another voice rang out from the rival ranks, sharp, cutting through the fragile calm. Don't listen to him. They're just trying to trick you into submission. Stay strong. Don't give them the satisfaction. A wave of tension surged across the square, an electric buzz that made Jake's heart thud louder. He turned to see the faces of those who had taken the tentative steps forward now frozen in doubt. What if everything unraveled now? Would the embers of potential burn out before they even ignited? Don't listen to fear. Jake shouted, urging anyone who would listen. We're not enemies. Look around. Isn't this what life should be about? Coming together instead of tearing each other apart. The crowd held its breath, every eye both welcoming and hostile, trained on the confrontation. He could practically feel everyone's heartbeats merging into one, the tension unbearable. Will they choose unity over division? Will love triumph, or will old wounds remain festering? Jake's future hung in the balance, waiting for the slightest movement. Jake's eyes darted between the rival leader and the crowd, feeling the weight of uncertainty pressing down on him like the afternoon sun. Look at all of us. He called out, gesturing to the mix of townsfolk who were now caught in this moment of indecision. This is our chance to create something new together. We've had enough fighting, enough hurt. Let today be the day we turn the page. Silence formed a thick barrier, broken only by the murmurs of the crowd. The faces of the rival group revealed shifting emotions, a tightening of jaws, a flicker of doubt in their eyes. Then, a woman, her features weathered but soft, stepped forward from the shadows of their group. What if you're right? She said, her voice trembling slightly as she looked at her companions. Her vulnerability wrapped around the words like a warm blanket, inviting the crowd to lean in. Jake seized the moment. What if we are? What if this is the moment we finally start to heal? Imagine the kind of life we could build if we choose to open our arms instead of close our fists. A few heads nodded within the rival group, but uncertainty still settled heavily in the air. Jake could feel the collective heartbeat of the square quicken, a rhythm of hope pulsing amongst them. Together, we can create new memories, he continued, working to stoke the fire of positivity. Memories of laughter, friendship, and connection. Love isn't something you give up. It's something you choose every day. A low murmur rippled through the crowd again, a glimmer of interest sparking in the hardened faces of the rivals. Then, one man stepped forward, looking torn between his past and this unsettling present. But what if we fail? His question hung there, heavy with history and fear. Jake took a deep breath, sensing the quiet despair underneath those words. What if we do? Can you honestly say that it's worse than what we've already gone through? At least we would have tried. Emily stepped beside him, her presence a grounding force. We're not defined by our past. We can create a new story together, brick by brick, laughter by laughter. A flicker of curiosity spread just like the sun breaking through clouds. Another woman, youthful with fire in her eyes, echoed the earlier sentiment. Dare we dream that we could become friends instead of enemies? Jake nodded vigorously. Yes. Let the laughter come from our hearts instead of anger. Life is too short to stay caught in this cycle of fear. Let us break it. Slowly, a few members from the rival group began to step forward, hesitance in their movements. The vibrancy of hope swelled in Jake's chest, mixed with worry that perhaps it was too soon. The rival leader glared at Jake, weighing his options, as murmurs transformed into conversations. Something shifted in the atmosphere. A shared human experience pulled them closer, even if just slightly. Then suddenly, a loud cheer erupted from the crowd behind Jake, catching fire with sheer excitement. Yes. Come join us. A wave of connection unfolded, transforming the air around them into a celebration of newfound possibilities. Jake's heart raced, anticipating what might happen next. Would this be their triumph, or would barriers continue to hold them back? He scanned the rival group, searching for the final sign to move forward. As a brave few stepped toward him, another voice rang out, louder this time, "Let us not forget the scars we carry. They can't just disappear." Fear swept back through the crowd like a chilling breeze. Would the echoes of the past surge back stronger than the bonds of hope? Could they truly begin anew, or was it all just a dream? With hearts racing and every second feeling monumental, Jake stood on the edge of hope and despair, waiting to see if they would collectively take that defining leap forward. The tension crackled in the air like static before a storm. Jake's heart thumped in his chest, matching the pulse of the crowd. They were standing on the brink of something monumental, and yet fear lingered like an unwanted guest. One man with years etched into his face stepped hesitantly out from the rival group. "My brother was hurt in the last fight." His voice broke, revealing the pain that lived within him. "How do I know this won't end the same way?" Jake could feel the collective breath of the crowd hitch in their throats. This was the moment to reveal their strength, to breach the scars of the past. "We remember the hurt," he said, swallowing hard to keep the tremor out of his voice. "But together, we can change the story. Instead of seeing our scars as weaknesses, let us see them as reminders of our strength. They tell us what we've overcome." Emily stepped in, her voice steady and soothing. "You're not alone. We've all lost something: friends, family, trust. But we can gain so much more if we choose to build bridges instead of walls." The crowd shifted, and a glimmer of connection sparked in the eyes of the rival groups. Jake noticed a slight nod from the woman who spoke earlier, her face shifting from uncertainty to determination. That simple movement ignited more confidence in his heart. "Look around," Jake urged, waving his hand towards the crowd. "Just look at all the faces here. There's love, there's hope, and there's potential. What if we created something beautiful together, something worth celebrating instead of mourning?" The skepticism in the crowd zuzzled away, replaced by the hope Jake had ignited. Murmurs began to swell into conversations as more people began to step forward, encouraged by the energy in the square. "Let us not let the past define us," shouted a young woman, her voice ringing clear. "We may have different histories, but we can share a future." Applause rippled through the crowd as eyes brightened. Jake felt a surge of energy. It was one thing to speak words of change, it was another to see them take root in the hearts of those around him. Then, just as the wave of enthusiasm seemed to crest, the rival leader's voice boomed across the square. "So, what do we do now? Just pretend like none of this ever happened?" Jake faced him confidently, trying to keep his voice measured. "No, we acknowledge it. We learn from it. We honor it by moving forward together, as a community." There it was, a crack in the armor of division. The rival leader paused, his eyes flickering with something Jake hoped was realization. The crowd shifted again, some urging each other forward with soft murmurs, while others still hesitated, caught in the battle between fear and hope. Everyone carried the weight of the past, but they also carried the promise of the future. Do we really want to pass this trauma to the next generation? Jake asked boldly. What would they think of us if we let fear bind us? Would they understand? Or would they resent us forever? A wave of emotion washed over the crowd. Jake sensed a turning point. A voice surged from the ranks, "We want better for our kids. We want change. A roar of agreement filled the air. Hope had ignited a fire, but was it enough to fuel the transformation they desperately needed? As one by one faces turned towards each other, a unity began to form, yet Jake could still feel the edge of uncertainty lurking at the fringes. Could this newfound hope withstand the inevitable challenges ahead? In that moment, as uncertainty tangled with hope, Jake's heart raced. Was this the moment they would finally break free from the chains of their past, or would a single misstep send them spiraling back into conflict? He could only watch, breath held tight, as they stood on the precipice of change. The atmosphere buzzed with a kind of electricity that Jake had never felt before. There was tension, too, but this time it was different, less suffocating and more like a wellspring of possibility. Around him, people leaned closer together, some eyes shining with tears, others wide with hope. Jake could sense the cracks spreading in the wall that had divided them for so long. And then, just as he felt they might reach a true turning point, the rival leader broke the spell. Enough of this. Talk is cheap, isn't it? His voice cut through the air, raw and filled with skepticism. The crowd reacted, murmurs of unease rippling through them. Jake took a deep breath. He could feel Emily's steady gaze beside him, a silent support that anchored him. Yes, it is, he said, his voice steady. But every great change begins with a conversation. You felt the hurt. I felt it too. But if we're truly done with fighting, then we owe it to ourselves to see if what we can build together can be greater than what we've lost. A tension hung in the air, and then the rival leader crossed his arms. You think we can just turn the page? What would the ones we lost think if we forget them? Jake felt the air thicken, but he refused to let fear wrap around them again. We won't forget, he said firmly. But we can honor those we've lost by making sure their stories inspire us to build instead of destroy. What if we work together to create something in their memory? A festival, a gathering, something for our children, to plant the seeds of peace. The crowd quieted, weighing his words. Then a man at the back of the square stepped forward. If we're going to do this, we need to be honest. What happens if someone stirs the pot again? What's to stop the fighting from cropping back up? Jake nodded, appreciating the honesty. That's where we all come in. This isn't a one-time fix. This is about making commitments to each other and to ourselves. A new code. If we feel anger rising, we must speak up rather than resort to violence. We are all responsible. As he spoke, the vibration of hope seemed stronger. He could see heads nodding in agreement, eyes flickering with decision. Jake didn't want to stand on a pedestal. He wanted to walk alongside them in this journey. A woman from the rival group stepped into the light. I lost my brother, too. I want to believe we can build something better. But it has to be real. No more half measures. The weight of her words hung there, heavy but vital. It felt like a shared wound laid bare, uniting the crowd even more. Jake's heart swelled with pride. For the first time, they were speaking from the heart, not just a place of fear or anger. Let's commit to this together, Jake said, a swell of determination fueling him. Let us create a space where we can all come together, where we can share stories, heal wounds, and build the future we want. Who's with us? The answer was immediate, a wave of voices joining together, shouting, we are. Jake's smile felt like it would split his face. The air pulsed with fervor, energy crackling like a live wire. This was more than just a gathering, this was the birth of something new. But just as hope reached its summit, a sudden commotion erupted at the far end of the square. A figure was pushing through the crowd, urgency radiating off them. Jake's heart dropped, a chill rushing through him as he realized the potential for chaos was not completely quelled. Would this be the moment where everything they had fought for would come crashing down around them? With that thought lingering in the air, the crowd went silent, eyes darting toward the disturbance. Jake took a deep breath, readying himself for whatever was about to unfold. The figure surged forward, panic etched on her face. It was Sarah, someone Jake had known from the early days of the conflict. She had always had a light in her eyes, but today, that light seemed extinguished. As she reached the front, gasps echoed through the crowd. "Stop," she shouted, her voice tinged with desperation. "You can't start this now, not when there's news, not when everything is so fragile." "What is going on, Sarah?" Jake stepped closer, his heart racing. The crowd held its breath, the tension thickening once more. She paused, her breath hitching. "They're coming back." Jake's mind whirled. Who was coming back? His eyes flitted over the crowd, seeking guidance. Emily gripped his arm, worry radiating from her, and it steadied him enough to turn back to Sarah. "Who is it?" Jake tried to keep his voice calm, but it wavered. "Tell us." "It's the militants," she gasped, tears brimming in her eyes. "They heard about the talk of peace and want to crush it before it gets started. They're mobilizing right now." The buzz of hope that had buoyed the crowd moments ago now turned to a dark cloud of anxiety. Faces turned pale, and whispers spread like wildfire. No, someone muttered in disbelief. "This isn't right." Jake stood rooted in place, grappling with the gravity of her words. What he envisioned just moments ago, a festival, a new beginning, now felt impossibly far away. The idea of the past repeating itself loomed large, a ghost threatening to tear apart the fragile threads of unity he had glimpsed. "Listen," he urged, raising his hands to gather their attention once more. "We have to stay strong. They want us to fall apart. If we let fear divide us now, we betray everything we just said we'd stand for." Murmurs rippled through the crowd, uncertainty warping those hopeful eyes. A few people clutched each other's arms, and Jake could see doubt creeping in. "We can't let them win. The real battle is not with fists but with our resolve. We can fight back with unity." His heart thumped loudly in his chest as he spoke, primitive instincts coursing through him. "If we want to honor those we've lost, we have to stand together, not against each other." Suddenly, a voice rose from the back. "He's right." It was the man from earlier, gesturing with conviction. "We've come a long way. We can't allow ourselves to be dragged back into a war that's already cost us too much." Encouraged by his words, others began to nod, inching towards the front, regrouping. Hope began to stir again, like embers waiting to ignite. Sarah wiped her tears, visibly bolstered by their collective support. "What do we do?" she asked, still trembling but forging courage from her vulnerability. "Together," Jake replied, a newfound determination surging within him. "We prepare. We communicate. We establish a watch, alert the others. But most of all, we stay united. No more division. No more fear." A flicker of resolve ignited in the eyes around him. Then, a woman raised her hand. "We can hold a meeting later. Let us not panic. Instead, let us plan." The murmur of agreement swelled again, a chorus rising like the sun breaking through night. Jake felt a wave of relief, but it was quickly overshadowed by the urgency of their situation. As the crowd began to organize, arranging their defenses, Jake's mind raced with questions. Were they truly ready for what might come next? Could they hold fast against the tide of violence that had threatened to engulf them all before? With the air crackling around him, the sense of possibility mingled with dread. The moment of truth was looming ever closer. What would happen when night fell? And as they moved to prepare, Jake's heart weighed heavy with the uncertainty that hung in the balance. Everything hinged on their next steps. Would they rise together or fall apart again? The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a vibrant orange glow over Oakwood. Jake stood at the center of the square, a whirlwind of emotion churning within him. Fear gripped the townsfolk, but amid the uncertainty, solidarity began to form, their collective spirit lighting the way forward even in the face of encroaching darkness. Filling his lungs with the crisp air, Jake let hope seep back into his voice. "We are not just a town. We are family. They want us to panic, to scatter. But we one we stand as one Oakwood. The crowd echoed his sentiment, voices weaving together to create a beautiful tapestry of unity. As plans began to take shape, Jake gathered leaders from both sides and anchored their intentions. They brainstormed ideas about securing the area, preparing for anything that might come their way. With a strategic plan in place, they decided to station lookouts throughout town and convene regular meetings to tighten their bond, emphasizing cooperation over conflict. Emily stepped in beside him, her eyes glowing with determination. "This isn't just about survival, Jake. It's a chance for growth. We can emerge stronger." Her words resonated, and a fire sparked within the crowd. Let their fear be our catalyst for creating something beautiful. The first night passed slowly, anxiety curling through the air like heavy fog. Jake couldn't shake the anticipation gnawing at him. Every rustle, every shadow seemed magnified, but with each passing hour, his resolve deepened. The townsfolk watched over one another, ready to fight not just against the militants but for the hope they were cultivating together. Morning brought a crisp clarity. As the sun spilled its golden rays across the town, there was a renewed sense of purpose in the air. Jake looked out over the square, bright with banners waving in the autumn breeze, every color a reflection of their strength. The plans and unity cultivated in the previous night had been fruitful. Suddenly, a ripple of movement surged through the crowd as Sarah burst forward, urgency in her every step. "They're here!" she shouted, her voice trembling yet bold. "The militants are approaching." Fear gripped the hearts of the assembled townsfolk again, but this time Jake felt something different surging within him. He stepped forward, heart pounding but focused. "Listen. We've prepared for this moment. We are Oakwood. We stand together." With each word, he sensed the town gathering strength. They linked arms, forming a human barricade, an unyielding wall against the approaching threat. Jake looked at the faces around him. Fear was still there, but so was resolve. They were ready. Just as the militant group appeared on the outskirts of town, Jake took a breath that felt like it could fuel a storm. "This is not just our fight, it's for every single person who has ever felt powerless. We will not be silenced. We will stand our ground." The shadows of aggression moved closer, but as far as their eyes could see, it wasn't just anger they faced, it was a united force of communities bound by hope. He felt the city swell behind him, an unstoppable tide of shared dreams and aspirations. "Hey!" A voice rang out, the rival leader, stepping forward. "We're not here to make war. We want change too." The words seemed to drop bombs of interest and confusion. As he stepped closer, the townsfolk remained firm, less a barrier against conflict and more a bridge towards understanding. "Let us talk, then. We can stand together against chaos," Jake shouted, drawing on every ounce of courage. Conversations bubbled from both sides, voices overlapping in a beautiful cacophony. Old wounds resurfaced, but so did the potential for healing. The crowd slowly began to lessen the distance between themselves, weaving stories together into a tapestry of shared experiences instead of scars. There was laughter even amidst tension, a realization that while their paths had been different, their dreams aligned, that each had experienced the bitterness of loss. As discussions continued, the rival leader, a man who had once seemed like an enemy, spoke. Humbly. "We understand where you're coming from. We also know fear. But we can't let it chain us down anymore. Let us build, instead of destroy." Tears glimmered in the eyes of many as understanding replaced hostility. Instead of fists raised in anger, hands reached across barriers, a symbol of what could be trusted and embraced. A sense of unity blossomed in those minutes that felt like hours. The militants, a once menacing force, became comrades in the shared vision of growth and peace. Jake stepped back, feeling an overwhelming sense of relief wash over him. Their fight had turned into collaboration, beginning the long journey of healing and community spirit. It was a vibrant mural painted with the colors of hope, intertwining the different stories of culture, history, and pain, all expressing a singular desire to rise. "I know we can't forget the past," he said softly, "but let us rewrite our future together. Love will always be stronger than hate." The square filled with cheers, laughter filtering through as a bond was solidified that day one formed from shared dreams, aiming toward tomorrow together. As the sun set, casting a pearly light over Oakwood, Jake knew this was just the end of a conflict, but the dawn of something beautiful and inspiring transformation would echo throughout the streets. A new beginning had begun. And just like that, Jake dared to believe that sometimes defeat could lead to the victory of the heart. With a rush of adrenaline, he felt invincible. Together, they had triumphed over adversity, creating a future brimming with promise. And as the crowd began to disperse, celebrations on the horizon, one thought echoed in Jake's heart: this was the moment for everyone watching. This was transformation. So, let us carry this spirit forward. You need to subscribe now to catch more incredible stories. This is the moment to show your support by hitting that like button. Don't wait not even one more second. Comment below with your feelings about this ending and share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this transformation.